thank you for joining us this evening for our very first virtual scholar reception, where we will meet our new group of 11 scholars, meet our newest ARCS Light recipient, and enjoy a few other segments to help bring us together during this uncertain time. I want to thank members of our current board of directors, especially Patsy Caruso, who helped me with this event tonight. And of course, I would be remiss without thanking you, our members and supporters, who have allowed our chapter to continue throughout the past 43 years. Now, without further ado, please welcome our first group of scholars.
Hi everyone, my name is Will Koval, and I'm a student in the Department of Ecology and Evolution at the University of Chicago. My research focuses on the question of how pathogen genetic variability affects the incidence of disease. Standard epidemiological models predict that ecologically similar pathogens cannot locally coexist, but I've collected data directly contradicting this theory while studying an insect host pathogen system. I'm incredibly honored to accept the Scholar Award, and my thanks go out to the ARCS Foundation for their support. I'll be putting the award towards sequencing virus isolates I have collected in the field, allowing me to better understand pathogen variation across environments. All credit is due to my parents, all of my teachers, my advisor, Greg Dwyer, and of course my partner Paula for their encouragement and love. Thank you all.
Hi, my name is Jason Caracan. I'm a third semester predoctoral student in the Department of Plant Biology at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. I'm honored to be an ARCS Scholar and an Illinois Distinguished Fellow. My career goals lie in research, teaching, and public outreach. In my dissertation research, I am studying the biodiversity, evolutionary relationships, and ecology of a group of non-lichenized microfungi. These decay dead branches and bark of numerous tree species in temperate forests around the globe. Tough and long-lived, they're capable of withstanding long periods of desiccation, sun exposure, marine environments, and UV radiation. In my preliminary research, I have already produced a multi-gene phylogeny, identified several species that are new to science, and discovered a hitherto unknown aspect of their life history. The impact of these microfungi on carbon cycling and tree health is a black box. I aim to put these tiny fungi on the map, so to speak, and to bring to light how collectively their activities impact the forest ecosystems in which they inhabit. My ARCS Scholar Award expands my opportunities as a researcher and a professional.
Hello, my name is Anthony Hung, and I am a MD-PhD student at the University of Chicago studying genetics, genomics, and systems biology. My current research work investigates the cellular activities of cartilage cells and how genetics and mechanical forces combine to influence these cellular activities. The ultimate goal of my research is to better understand what determines whether someone is predisposed to developing the joint disease osteoarthritis, with the ultimate goal of identifying pathways for developing screening and treatment methods for this disease. So far in my graduate career, the ARCS Award has allowed me to make progress towards setting up an experimental system in the lab to study cartilage cells in a controlled environment. Through my work, we have determined that we are able to measure responses to mechanical stress in the lab that are relevant to osteoarthritis and relevant to joint health. We are very thankful for the support of ARCS members thus far, especially during the uncertainties surrounding funding and support during the current health crisis. It has also been a pleasure to be able to speak about my work and osteoarthritis to ARCS members both in person as well as in virtual formats. In the coming months, I plan to use the award to fund reagents and supplies to continue developing my project to a larger scale, to where I am able to draw meaningful conclusions about how genetic variation between different people relates to the mechanical stress response in cartilage cells in our joints. Thank you again.
I'm Rachel, and I'm a PhD student at the Illinois Institute of Technology, and currently my research is focusing on finding the effects sleep has on glycemic control in people with type 1 diabetes, and then using this to create a module for our multivariable artificial pancreas system, which is an automated insulin delivery system for people with type 1 diabetes. And I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to have this award. It's going to go a long way in helping me improve my home office as I'm continuing to finish my PhD while working at home. So thank you so much.
I would like to invite you to join me as I speak with one of our current board members, Kate Timmerman, who explains what ARCS means to her. Kate Timmerman, thank you for joining me today.
Hi.
Kate Timmerman has been a member of ARCS Illinois since 2009 and has been on the board for the past 4 years as our Vice President for Development. Kate also serves on the Board of Directors for P33. It's an initiative to turbocharge Chicago's tech ecosystem. During the day, she is the Executive Director of the Chicago Quantum Exchange. So my first question for you, Kate, is how did you initially get involved with ARCS?
Sure. Thanks, Sarah, and thanks for taking the time to talk to me today. I'm really happy and fortunate to be able to say that I've been involved in ARCS in a whole bunch of ways. The way I first became involved in ARCS was as a graduate student. I was earning my PhD in neuroscience and received an ARCS award back in 2008-ish. And you know, the award really meant a lot to me. And so as like almost within a few months of the day that I graduated, I started my first postdoc and immediately went on the website and found a way to join ARCS as a member. And I've been a member since that time, and on the board, and it's been a pleasure to hold a whole bunch of different roles and responsibilities with ARCS because of I just really wanted to give back to this great organization that supported me, and I've loved really working with everyone, students and scholars and members and the like.
That's great and wonderful, and we're very happy to have you and lucky to have you in ARCS Illinois.
Thanks.
How did your ARCS funds help you throughout graduate school?
Yeah, so I think that, I think the way the funds helped me in the moment were many of the ways that helped me, or the same ways that it helps current scholars today, right? I was able to use the funds to buy research equipment and also really use the funds to gain additional expertise. I was able to go to some conferences that in my field were incredibly important, and I may not have been able to participate in if I didn't have this external funding. I think in addition to, the actual use of the dollars was the kind of greater sense of accomplishment that the award gave me. The bringing external funds in as a graduate student gives you a certain amount of independence, especially the way that ARCS in particular structures their funds. And, it really gave me a sense of pride that I was contributing to my lab and to my scientific community at a relatively young age. In addition, as my career kind of has advanced, one of the things that I think has been incredibly important is when I am applying for a job, I have on my resume a kind of list of awards, and being able to include ARCS on that list, lets potential employers know that I'm a star, and when the way that modestly, and I think that when ARCS is selecting a student, through their process, through their universities, that's their way of labeling the students as a star, and it's something that they can use kind of as they progress in their career.
That's wonderful and amazing.
Thanks.
So with all that you're doing in your free time and your 9-to-5 job, why do you stay involved with ARCS, and why do you value ARCS as an organization?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it completely stems from my personal experience, and that makes me have a, I think, deeper understanding of the impact that ARCS Illinois and ARCS as a national institution has on graduate students, and supporting them and encouraging them through the hard, long years as a graduate student. And, honestly, it's part of a larger philanthropic culture of making sure that we as a nation are supporting our scientists and science as a whole. I think, especially in this day and age, we are all realizing how these fundamental processes and procedures and techniques that have been developed over generations, how incredibly important they are, and how a very large and driven workforce is needed to be able to do things like pull together a vaccine in a really short period of time, and then being able to scale it up and disseminate it across the nation and across the globe. And I think I get chills while I'm saying this, but that's one of the reasons why I stay involved. And of course, there are many other reasons. Like, I now have this wonderful sense of community with the women that I've had the pleasure of working with for, oh my gosh, a decade as part of ARCS Illinois.
Well, thank you, Kate. Thank you for all the work you have done for ARCS Illinois, our chapter, and continuing to help us grow and get our funding for a development perspective. And thank you for taking the time to speak with me today.
Thank you, Sarah.
And now to meet our next group of scholars for this year.
Hi everyone, my name is Samuel Grayson and I'm a second-year PhD student at the University of Illinois. I'm studying the creation of an augmented reality virtual reality system. And I'm working on this from both the hardware and the software perspective. So the hardware side of things involves how the physical processors of a computer are put together, whereas the software side is what tasks need to run on those processors and how to move the data between the processors. So the goal of my research is to design both in the context of each other, and hopefully we can do better than previous designs that only consider one at a time. It's been really great to have this fellowship. Specifically, being able to present my research at a Fun at 5 event has been extremely beneficial because it has given my research visibility, it's helped me practice my presentation skills, and it was really fun to engage with and interact with the audience. So thank you all.
Hi everyone, my name is Victoria Cooley. I'm a fourth-year grad student at Northwestern University studying material science and engineering. This is my third year with ARCS. My research focuses on tooth enamel. So we're all familiar with acquired enamel defects like cavities or demineralized enamel that we would go to the dentist to have treated. But defects can also be inherited from our parents and stay with us for life. Biologists have gone a long way to identifying the genes that are responsible for these disorders. And as a material scientist, it's my job to look at the microscopic characteristics to sort of better figure out ways to treat these disorders. When the COVID pandemic hit and labs had to shut down, I had to shift my lab work from going in and working at my bench and doing experiments there to doing computational-based modeling. With my ARCS scholarship, I was able to purchase the computer equipment that I needed to do this and keep my research going throughout the shutdown. The shift to remote work has also made it a lot easier to attend virtual workshops and conferences, and so I'm really looking forward to being able to use my ARCS scholarship to attend those. Actually, the day that I'm recording this, I'm attending a workshop, and on the day of the ARCS event, I'll also be presenting my research at one of these virtual conferences. So I just wanted to say thank you so much to the ARCS Leadership Committee for organizing these events and keeping all of us scholars sort of connected and in the loop, and also to everyone who's contributed or donated to the ARCS Scholarship Fund. It's really changed my research career. So thank you so much.
Hello, I am Daniel Smith, a third-year physics grad student at the University of Chicago. I'm a particle astrophysicist, so I study the highest energy neutrinos in the universe. I'm currently working on an experiment that is trying to turn many hundreds of cubic kilometers of Greenland ice into one big particle detector so that we can pick up the paradoxically faint signals coming from these extremely high energy neutrinos that are produced out there in the cosmos. The money from the ARCS Foundation will partially go towards my deployment to Greenland. So I'll actually be able to go with the very select few people for my experiment to deploy the experiment that I've been working to develop into the ice in Greenland. So I'd really like to thank the foundation for this funding opportunity. I mean, it's invaluable to be able to actually go in person instead of working from the lab here at Chicago. So thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Breanna Lucero, and I'm a PhD student at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. My field of study is astronomy, and I am part of the observational cosmology group with Dr. Joaquin Vieira. My research involves searching for galaxies in the early universe, which we call high redshift galaxies. Redshifting is a phenomenon that literally shifts the wavelength of an object into the redder part of the electromagnetic spectrum due to its receding motion and universal expansion. We can expect to see the spectrum of a galaxy shift to different wavelength values depending on its distance. Additionally, because the universe is so vast, we can conclude that the light we see from high redshift galaxies is from millions of years ago, because it takes light, despite being the fastest thing there is, to travel that great of a distance. Using data from large-scale surveys such as the Dark Energy Survey or Hubble Space Telescope, I implement a method called the Lyman break technique to select candidates in the survey field that satisfy the conditions for being a high redshift galaxy. My goal is to eventually follow up on these observations with spectra from additional surveys so that these galaxies can be further analyzed and used to understand the nature of the early universe. I plan to invest my award in professional development opportunities such as conferences and for eventual travel to on-site locations to make observations or participate in collaborative projects. I would like to thank the ARCS Foundation for acknowledging my potential and supporting my journey as a doctoral student.
We would now like to take some time and remember when we were able to enjoy events like these in person. We hope to be able to host events again in person soon, but for now, please enjoy this little slideshow that we have put together for you. And now for our final group of scholars for the 2020-2021 ARCS academic year.
Hello, my name is Nguyen, and I'm an MD PhD student from Loyola University in Chicago. My field of research is breast cancer research, and in the future, I would like to become an oncologist who also do research on the side. In particular, my research focuses on the interaction between probiotic bacteria and breast cancer cell growth. Our lab were able to isolate this one active molecule called exopolysaccharides from a strain of probiotic bacteria. We found that this molecule is able to potently inhibit the growth of certain breast cancer cell line. My work so far has really focuses on elucidating the mechanism of how this molecule can directly interact and inhibit these breast cancer cell growth. My hope is that understanding how this one particular bacterial molecule works can help us better understand and appreciate how the bacteria in our body may interact and influence breast cancer cell growth. And knowing that, maybe we can derive better therapy to make use of these bacteria. And finally, I would like to say that I'm very grateful for this award, and it has been a tremendous help knowing that I have this extra financial support, especially in the middle of this pandemics. I plan to use this award to supplement my living expenses, and whatever left over will be a saving for emergency use, as I anticipate that there will be a lot of expenses when I go back to the medical school in a year or so. Okay, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Rebekah Reynolds, and I'm currently a second-year PhD student under the guidance of Professor Regan-Thompson at Northwestern University in the Department of Chemistry. My research focuses on addressing the significant gap between large-scale drug production and the current limitations of synthetic chemistry. The majority of bioactive molecules possess a sterically hindered, fused polycyclic scaffold, and these skeletons are often the most difficult to construct, especially at a large scale, limiting the breadth of drug structure available for medicine. I'm currently developing an efficient photochemical method that can rapidly generate these structures. Not only are photochemical reactions highly accessible, scalable, environmentally friendly, and versatile, but this particular method has proven to work for the construction of both highly complex and sterically hindered molecules, all with remarkable stereo control. I'm continuing to develop a molecular library to illustrate the scope of its abilities. Soon, we will build upon the scaffolds we've made and apply this methodology towards the synthesis of promising bioactive molecules. I want to thank ARCS and the Eileen S. Andrew Foundation for your generous support. I look forward to networking and meeting with other scholars through ARCS, and I'm incredibly grateful for this funding as it will alleviate financial strain and I can wholeheartedly focus on pursuing my PhD. I intend to use the award to help with travel expenses for scientific conferences whenever opportunities open up again, and to purchase a new computer to help facilitate data analysis.
Hello, my name is Roger Smith, and I'm in the MD PhD program at Northwestern University's Feinberg School of Medicine. There I study biochemistry and molecular genetics in the context of cancer biology. Specifically, I'm interested in how stress-responsive factors that help a normal cell respond to its environment are hijacked by cancer cells to promote growth, metastasis, and resistance to therapy. As we better understand the pathways involved in these processes, I hope to reveal ways to both improve response to existing therapies as well as identify targets for new future therapies. I'm very humbled to receive this ARCS scholarship, and I hope to use some of the money to upgrade my existing workstation, including a stand-up desk, a new computer, and a second monitor that'll help me while I'm analyzing the data that we generate. I would like to thank the donors whose generosity is now serving as an investment in the future of science, both in the United States and Illinois.
I am thrilled to introduce you to our newest ARCS Light recipient, Linda Celesia, who has been a member of ARCS Illinois since 1987 and has held many different leadership positions. Linda currently serves on the board as our national liaison and chair of strategic planning. She also serves on the national board as the VP of operations.
ARCS Foundation has been an important part of my life for over 25 years. It is a privilege to work with a group of dedicated and intelligent women who share a vision and goal for scientific advancement. Members of the Illinois chapter, as part of the ARCS Foundation national organization, are committed to supporting scholars who will be crucial in developing scientists to be the leaders of the future.
Good evening, I'm Nancy Whitford, and it's my privilege to serve as co-president of the ARCS Illinois chapter along with Sarah. I've also continued to serve as VP of membership, a position I've held for the last 5 years. It's my pleasure to talk with you personally because normally I communicate with you via email or old-fashioned snail mail. First, I'd like to express my appreciation, along with that of the entire ARCS Illinois board, for your continued loyalty and generosity. This is a challenging time for not-for-profits, and especially so for ARCS, because we cannot get together with our amazing scholars and with our fellow members. So the board has tried very hard during these last few months to keep you in touch with those scholars through Zoom presentations. We hope you've enjoyed these sessions, and we promise you we'll continue to try and keep in touch with you as best we can. I mentioned it's a privilege to serve on the ARCS Illinois board. I've especially enjoyed getting to know the dedicated group of women who serve with me. They're an inspiring group, and I've really enjoyed their company. I encourage each of you to serve in some capacity on an ARCS board or on an ARCS committee. The personal rewards are tremendous, and also you get to know that you are helping advance science in America at a time when we all know that scientific research in medicine and engineering and all the fields that ARCS covers is so very, very important. Now, I look forward to seeing each of you personally in 2021. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us this evening. Your continued support of our chapter allows us to continue providing awards to scholars every year. Please join us for one of our next upcoming virtual events that we will continue to host throughout the year. And please consider supporting our chapter or inviting a friend to learn more about our organization. Thank you, and I hope you have a great evening.